And we are live. Welcome, everybody. This is Pardon the Intermezzo, episode 2. Oh, shit. Hold up. My bad. Just had a little bit of a technical difficulty there. My name is Aakaash Meduri, National Master from Chicago, and I am joined by National Master Potzer Play, aka Michael Auger. Do you prefer to go by Potzer Play or Michael on this show?
I think I'm partial to Potzer Play.
Mm-hmm.
In the spirit of NBL.
Yes, and I think I prefer going by acashmoney in this.
Always.
Yes, pretty much always. Just call me Aakaash. Like my Twitch username is Aakaash, but you guys can all call me Aakaash. And Lord Poseidon, what's up? I see you are joining us. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm sure we'll get a couple more people filtering in into the chat. But Mike, do you want to just give a quick rundown on Pardon the Intermezzo? I know we did kind of a dry run for the first episode.
Yeah. So we're back with the episode 2 with the name change from PTI to Pardon the Intermezzo. Thank you, JJ Lang. What we're going to be doing here is walking through some commentary on the last week in the National Blitz League. We're going to walk down the list of topics on the right side of the screen here. We get 3 minutes each, or 3 minutes for each topic, and we're going to try and run through everything by the end of this. So
yeah, and you guys can see on the right hand portion of your screen a little timer at the top. That's a 3-minute timer, so each of these topics goes through for 3 minutes. We get to riff on that. Trying to breeze through this stuff really quickly and give you guys a lot of exciting content. Lord Poseidon, you pulled an all-nighter. Nice. We are here to provide you with some exciting chess talk, so hopefully we can entertain you.
The best type of talk.
The best. You'll never find something like this anywhere on the interwebs.
Guarantee it.
Yeah. Okay, so let's kick this off and get started, Mike. Do you want to start the timer?
Yeah.
First topic.
Hopefully it works this week.
Yes, hopefully it works this week. First topic, we got All-Star Weekend. You know, in the NBA, we've got All-Star Weekend. What does All-Star Weekend look like for the NBL?
Look, this is so exciting. To have something like this, and even just the idea of this and all the opportunities. I imagine things like puzzle competitions, Blitz, bullet all-star teams going head-to-head in one of those head-to-head style team matches. I think you got things like Hyper Bullet could make an appearance, maybe Bug House, Chess 960. There's a lot of different opportunities that could spice up the event. When you think about, like, how do we create the dunk contest of the NBL or the three-point contest of the NBL. So I think there's that element to it, and there's also the voting element and voting people into these topics and how that would work. In my head, there's a combination of team owners, the player vote, and some stats.
Right, and I think another thing is just in the NBA, you've got Team East, Team West, doing something like that too, and then maybe getting an all-out arena with just 2 teams. That could be a lot of fun.
Dude, East and West conferences, like, that would be sick. I think that's something that should be added to NBL, in my opinion, if we get enough teams.
Yeah, we'd have to create, like, new League chess teams for, like, NBL East, NBL West. This is obviously dependent on if we keep the team geography stuff the same, and that will be a further topic of discussion today. I know we both have some strong opinions on that.
A heated topic coming up.
A heated topic. Where's the fire emotes in the chat, folks? We need some fire emojis.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, go ahead.
Go ahead. I was just gonna say it would be so sick if we can actually get this All-Star Weekend thing going. I know Nathan Kelly's a huge hype man. I could see him hyping this up huge. I know the NBL team's busy, so we're happy to help with whatever. Nice fire emojis.
Power up.
Happy to help with absolutely anything to make that happen, because I think that would be sick.
Yeah, and I think your idea of, introducing some of the variants would be really fun too. Obviously, with All-Star Weekend, there isn't really too much at stake other than pride and some pretty fancy trophies. But to be able to say, hey, I am the NBL champion of Crazy House or something like that. That's bragging rights.
Dude, and even just like for players to say they made the All-Star team, like that's something that goes on their NBL resume,
right?
For the rest of the time to say they were a X-time All-Star. I mean, that's something that I think is would add a lot to discussions of the greatest players in the league and the greatest NBL careers.
It's a legacy. It's part of the legacy.
Right.
Whoa, that was a little brutal.
We got the horn. So let us know in the chat if the horn gets too aggressive. There's nothing we're going to be able to do about it this time, but we can turn down the volume next time. So let's go on to the next topic.
Okay. So team logos. We've got 10 teams in the league, and now we have 10 logos. Mike, do you want to pull up those logos, and maybe we can start talking about some of them?
Yeah, I'm gonna pull it up, and this is kind of a hacky way we're trying to do this.
Yeah.
But we'll hopefully have something better for this type of thing next week. How does that look?
I can see it.
Sick. All right. So I'll start with my opinions on the logos. First off, I think they're all straight fire. I mean, many opportunities for the fire emoji this season. Nathan Kelly, or I don't know who exactly was in charge of the design, but Nathan Kelly is the one that has displayed them and shown them off to us. But these are fire. I'm actually absolutely pumped about all of these. And in my creating of a website for stats and stuff, I'm excited to use these as a part of it. If I'm going to break down what my favorite logos are, I'm going to have to actually go with the LA Mambas, I think being my favorite one. And which is funny because the original LA Mambas logo was the one I was complaining about earlier on, Aakaash. I don't know if you remember that.
The Cobra? This one?
Before the Cobra when it was just a pawn and like the text, I think it was kind of a placeholder. And I needed to put that on the website, and I was like, man, this is the wrong one. They have some fire logos with the Atlanta Gorillas and the Dallas Bulls, but I was disappointed about the Mambas one. But now I think the Mambas logo is actually my favorite. That one or the Sharks, with an honorable mention to my team, the Chicago Piranhas, and I'm biased on that one.
Okay.
For multiple reasons.
Fair enough. The Piranhas, I have heard some people criticizing that look, saying it looks like a shrimp. Myself, I see nothing wrong with it. There's some definite geometric deliberation in the design of that logo. Lord Poseidon agrees with you, Potzer play, about the Mambas logo being pretty sick.
Oh, yeah. It's straight fire, dude. I will say one thing about the Piranhas logo that I'm noticing is that the background is still on it for some reason. It's not the transparent one. And the king is transparent. So I think we got actually the wrong logo in there. But I'll have to talk with Nathan Kelly about that offline.
Might have to fire the graphic designer.
Yeah. Hey, don't be too hard on him.
I will say it's not very well pronounced, but I am a big fan of the Stingrays logo. I do like minimalism personally, and the just minimal look of the shapes of the Stingrays. It's kind of unfortunate you can't see it that easily.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I'm not the biggest fan of the Stingrays. I think the other ones pack a lot bigger of a punch. The Stingrays one looks to me a little bit more corporate.
Okay, fair enough.
It just doesn't give me the same vibe as like the Mambas or the Sharks. I don't want to mess with either of those teams, but the Stingrays, they're soft.
Okay, before the time runs out, Carolina Reapers, I feel like that should have been like a hybrid between a Reaper and a Pepper.
With the Peppers, yeah, that would be sick. I agree. Dude, I also like that logo too.
Yeah, dude, this sound is killing both my ears and Lord Poseidon's ears.
Yeah, we're gonna have to turn down the volume on that. Theoretically, you could mute your
yes
the window, but
I can mute it, so you might be muted right before the timer runs out. Okay, so going on to the next one, teams and their cities. Mike, you want to start the?
Yeah, we'll kick off the next topic.
Yeah. Okay. So. Oh yeah, cool. Teams and their cities. So this is something that you and I have discussed in the past. We had the National Chess League back when we were in college. Actually, you had just graduated. But the discussion of having teams based off of cities versus just having generic names. And for myself, as the captain of the San Francisco Stingrays, I think it's a little bit confusing that we are representing San Francisco when nobody on our team lives in San Francisco. Nobody on our team has ties to San Francisco. And I can't remember the last time I've been to San Francisco. I think that personally the teams should be kind of more based off of like esports. With League of Legends, you've got teams like Cloud9. I can't think of a single other team right now. I'm blanking, but I think it's a little bit confusing when we designate it based off of geography when so many of the players are not even far from those cities.
Okay, are you done?
Yes.
Because this is when I go in. Like, I'm very fired up about this particular topic, and I think it's crazy to think that, like the Chicago Bulls, that team is not comprised of people that are inherently from Chicago. That's just not how team sports or team things like that work. And the reason why it's important to represent a city is so that I can walk straight onto this league and know who my affiliation should be with. If I just have a team named Cloud9, how am I supposed to know who I should be backing right off the bat? And how am I going to form a sense of community with the people around me in my geographical area? Because we're fans trying to relate with the people around us and get excited with the people around us. And how can you do that if there isn't a common ground that the people in your geography have? So I think it's all about creating an environment that is most interesting to the viewers. And I think anything short of that is doing a disservice to the league. I think that geography is absolutely critical to this.
I agree with the fact that you need to establish community. And you are at a little bit of an advantage because you are from the Chicago Piranhas.
I get that. That's true.
Nobody has reached out to me from San Francisco, and I'm sure that's the case for like a lot of the other teams. And you'd be surprised within esports, like people do have their allegiances to these teams, like Cloud9, for example. It's like super, super popular, and I think it just hasn't really been implemented in chess yet. And it would definitely take a little bit of time to ramp up there, but I think in the long term it might be a little bit less confusing.
Yeah, well, I know this is the end of the topic, but I really think that this is going to hurt team affiliations if we can't have this. And I get we're early in NBL, so right now it doesn't matter all that much because a lot of the hype around it is in Chicago and maybe a little bit in New York, thanks to Nathan Kelly. So it's a little bit harder for teams like San Francisco to build a following based on their geography. But if this takes off the way that we hope it does, then all of a sudden it'll be very relevant to have these geographical boundaries. And by cutting our knees out from under us at the beginning, we'd just be impeding progress in the future.
So yeah, we'll move on to the next topic. But chat, why don't you share your thoughts on that? I think that's a very interesting debate, and
everyone tell Aakaash how he's wrong.
Hey, the chat seems to be on my side right now.
I'm not reading the chat.
Okay, so moving on to the next topic, instant replay. I know you guys probably aren't used to seeing instant replay in chess, but we are about to show you this.
Aakaash, while you're doing that, can you share your screen again so I can get a pulse on the commentary?
Yes, I can. 1 second. Yep. Oh, wait. I didn't do it. Okay. Yeah. Instant replay. So you want to move on to the next topic?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Instant replay. So what we've got for you guys today is a juicy, juicy game that happened actually yesterday in the 3-0 arena. And one just thing about this game, White is Brendan Zhang Pro, who has been talking some smack to our boy Potzer Play.
I've been told that the chat has been lit up with smack talk against Potzer Play.
Yeah, so you guys can see what happened in this game. And black is Kingpin Lopez, Angel Lopez. I'll give him a quick shout out. New streamer, please check him out, Coach Angel NYC. You should see that shout out in the chat. But let's just move on to this game real quick.
For what it's worth, I did not pick this game, although I do endorse the choice, given the history.
I was the one who picked this game. And then king e7,
Ooh, what a move.
the mouse slip. That king is looking mighty misplaced on e7. I think bishop e7 was the move intended.
You're wrong. That was not a mouse slip.
It was just it was a improvised bomb cloud, I guess.
It was a flaunt. He knew. It's like when you put your head out in front in boxing. He knew.
He knew.
He knew. He wanted to beat him anyways.
Yeah,
You've been seeing that talk in the chat.
Yeah, that's true. And let's see. D takes e6, bishop takes e6. Let's see what happens. e4 grabbing the center, c6, bishop g5, h6 takes. I actually think that Kingpin Lopez should have taken with the king and really...
Kingpin Lopez should have lived up to his name. Brought that king out.
Really stuck it to him. And actually, when I looked at this, Stockfish agreed.
Ooh, hit him with it.
Yeah. So, but g takes f6, knight f3, king e8. And now, you know, it looks like white's doing everything fine. But the problem is when your opponent plays king
e7.
e7.
Even castle. Oh man.
Yeah, he can't castle. When your opponent plays king e7 on move 1 or move 4, you got to really play a little bit more aggressively. And white is just taking this too easily. And let's just see what happens. Queen d4.
You hate watching it disappear from your hands. Like, I mean, I even feel bad for white here as this game. I mean, I guess it hasn't disappeared yet, but.
No, it hasn't disappeared yet, but bishop takes a3. The tactic. Bishop takes a3. Of course, b takes a3, queen takes c3, winning the pawn for black. You got to think that even though Brendan Zhang's position is it's still very good. I mean, confidence has to be slipping.
If it's free, it's me.
If it's free, it's me. And that is what Kingpin Lopez says with the skewer on the queen and the rook.
There's a check there. Oh, yeah. Queen g5. Hit him with it.
Queen g5, knight f5. We're going to hear the timer very soon. I'm going to mute you just so as we finish this. Queen f3 takes. Okay, so it didn't sound bad in my headphones. And as you see, white's position collapses. And I will unmute you, Mike.
Okay, good, because I got a lot to know.
And this is GG. So the big choke from Brendan Zhang Pro.
And what I will say is Kingpin Lopez has been giving me the hands lately. Like, I think he's playing really well. I think he's got a lot in store for this season. I mean, I can't necessarily say whether or not it's me or him, but but he's been giving me the hands all season. So
yeah, Kingpin Lopez is definitely a shark. I don't know if he's on that team, but
so, I hope we can do instant replay again and become a kind of recurring segment. Hopefully it can be kind of automated and we can, show some B-roll instant replays and actually show it at this game time speed rather than clicking through it. I think that'll be more exciting. So stay tuned for that in the next part of the Intermezzos.
Yes, please stay tuned. Okay, so moving on to the next early MVP candidates, and I'll quickly switch the view that we're on right now. And let's...
For a little sneak preview of the website in progress.
Mm-hmm. Yes. You want to start that timer?
This is heavily in maintenance for what it's worth.
Heavily in maintenance, but in beta, but still, it's useful for us.
Say alpha.
So why don't you walk us through right now, Mike? We've got the standings here. I'll actually just pull up the player stats. That's a little bit easier, and then go to total points.
Yeah, I think that's relevant for the other ones. Most improved players more, but this is a good conversation about MVP. So if we can sort this by both bullet points per game first, let's do that. And we got Mark Paragua on top, and that surprised me this week. Because I thought Artulia had been running it, but I think I was just so far away from the top page in Last Arena that I didn't realize just how much he went off for something crazy like 97 points. Mm-hmm. That's an insane score that's hard to beat. He's certainly looking like the MVP as far as bullet goes. What about Blitz? Can we sort by Blitz points per game?
Yeah, Blitz. And for those of you that don't know, Mark Paragua is a grandmaster, so... he's one of two grandmasters competing in this league, the other one being Ankit Rajpura, who is also at the top of the standings except for Blitz.
Yeah. And for what it's worth, by the way, these points per game, we mean points per arena. Hey, did you sort by Blitz per game?
Yeah.
Oh, man, it's hard to see that, so I'm sure it's hard for the viewers, too.
Yeah, Blitz per
Oh no,
game
actually,
right now.
way easier on the other screen with Twitch. So yeah, Ankit Rajpara, another GM. Not surprisingly, the GMs are sitting at number 1 for each Blitz and Bullet. Notably absent though is Mark Paragua, who has missed both Blitz arenas, certainly dropping his stock value as a member of the team. Because if you're missing one of your top 2 players, you really hurt, and you see that in the team standings for the Dallas Bulls. You can see his absence.
Yeah, absolutely.
That later.
And because of that, I think he can't. Like, he's not. If he's going to be missing all the Blitz arenas, he's not going to be in the MVP discussion, despite the fact that he's a monster at Bullet.
So Atulia shows up 2nd and 5th, or 2nd and 4th. That's a pretty good landing.
International Master Atulia Shetty, and he is also at the top of the leaderboard in terms of total points.
So, and total points is a little deceiving though, right? Because you can score a lot more points in Bullet than you can score in Blitz. So the better Bullet players are disproportionately rewarded on total points. So we need another metric, I think, to show things, but it is an interesting stat. And he's up there at top, right?
Yeah, Atulia is at the top right now for total points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm impressed with where you're landing on this thing.
Yeah, although I didn't really show up for the Wednesday arena. It was a very unfortunate showing by me, but a little more unfortunate by you somehow.
Hey, yeah, well, let's not talk about that. Andy Lindo on Blitz, he was pretty high up, and he's in number 2 for. Where was he in Bullet? Because he's in that MVP race candidate for sure.
Oh man!
If he had a decent Bullet showing.
I forgot to mute you during the horn, so sorry viewers for that unfortunate screech. No, but I think definitely Andy Lin is going to be in the MVP conversation. National Master, originally from, I think he's still in Arizona actually. Leech has username Patangas. He's an absolute beast. He's almost 2,400 USCF. He's definitely going to be one to watch out for.
All right. Yeah, so I mean, in my opinion, I don't know. Like maybe you'll give yours too, but I'd say Atulia and Andy are the front runners right now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Numbers don't lie.
Right.
I mean, Mark Paragua, if he starts showing up for the Blitz, he'll definitely be in the discussion. But
yeah.
Atulia and Andy are definitely number 1 and 2 right now.
Yep. All right.
Next topic. Yeah. So yep. bang for the buck. This is referring to the tier 2 and tier 3 players. Like who are the value picks right now? And I mean, this I think this view is like the perfect way to look through that. What do you have anyone that stands out to you right now?
Yeah, sorry, I'm taking a look at the standings right now. I wish we had tier listed next to these players' names in the standings. That would be pretty sick.
Yeah, definitely something to hit the dev team up with. We'll make sure they get that message. But I do know off of the top of my head, JJ Lang, Juicy J, Kale on Leechess, sitting at number 14, and he was surprisingly a tier 2 pick. And
no way.
Yeah,
he's tier 2.
He's tier 2, and he seems to be leading the pack with total points of 115, showing up for 4 arenas. So. I mean, he's definitely a good value pick. Also, a captain of the Carolina Reapers.
Do you know Lamel McBride's username? Does anyone in the chat know Lamel McBride's username? Because he's got a lot of points.
It's Treasure Chest.
Oh, yeah. He's been giving me the hands lately, too.
Yeah, he's tier 1, though.
Tier 1.
He wouldn't really count. Let us see who else. Mark Johnson is tier 1.
Tier 1.
Let us see. Cameron Tolliver is tier 2 on the Stingrays.
That's a big one. I mean, anyone in this top almost 20 that's a tier 2 player, I mean, that's game changing. What team's he on? Anyone know what Cameron Tolliver's on? Do you know Aakaash? I need to add that too. Definitely need to add that to this.
He's on my team. He's Stingray.
Okay. Wow, that's a big pickup.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely valuable. I have him on my team, and also. Someone who we probably doesn't get enough love, but Steven Jennings, Disco Steve, he's been putting in work in these arenas.
Yeah, that's a good score. 92 points. Do I have 92 points? I don't even know if I have that.
Let's see, where are you? You're in 11th right now at 125.
It feels worse. It feels a lot worse. I'll be honest with you.
I mean, tier 1 players need to deliver.
After last arena, I balled up and like sat and slept in the dark last night. So that was an ugly one.
Yeah. Gokes 41. What is the difference between tier 2 and 3? Tier 2 is 2250 to 2000 average of lead chest, blitz, and bullet, and tier 3 is 2000 and below. So tier 1 would be like 2250 and above. I'm not really seeing any standouts other than
10-second countdown to the mute the horn thing.
Oh yeah, okay. I'm gonna mute. I'll unmute you right now. Yeah, yeah. You guys were lucky not to hear that it screeched on my end, also. But you're unmuted, Mike.
Sweet, I'm back.
Yeah.
Saving the ears, one moment at a time.
Yeah. Okay, so the next topic is berserking. I will switch back to the webcam view so you can see our beautiful faces. So berserking, we talked about this last week as well, and I have a feeling that this is going to be a consistent topic of debate. You and I seemed to be on the same page last week, but I took a look at the Blitz standings yesterday after the arena because the Stingrays really didn't show up. We had a poor performance, and I noticed a trend. The teams that were berserking the most were actually lower in the standings. What do you think about that? I mean, I think last week, just to give you guys a recap, we said that berserking is overrated. Are you still of that opinion? I know you did berserk 67% of the time yesterday.
Isn't that ironic? I berserked 67% after saying that it's no good.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the thing. It was a terrible tournament, and it was partially because I berserked so much. It's kind of like a drug. You do it once, and then you lose, and then you do it again because you need to catch up, and then all of a sudden you're in berserk hell. So it is wrong. It does not work in general. Blitz is a lot more forgiving. If you're playing well, it can be a tool that it works in your benefit. But if you're not, it can really hurt you. So I guess I wouldn't. I might refine my point from the last stream because I think I was a lot more favorable last stream than I was this one. I don't know if it's because I suck more now or because it's actually just not that great of a strategy. But I remember I had this realization last season around berserking that it's, there's very few circumstances where it is EV positive.
Yeah, and I mean it really kills your flow when you berserk and then you wait like the 20 seconds or 15 seconds and your opponent doesn't berserk back. And it's like if you're on a streak and you could get 4 points without berserking, but you have your time and you could potentially get 5, I think typically that's not really going to work. It might be a little bit better value if you are at the end of a streak and you start from scratch, and then it's the difference between 2 and 3 points. But like, I don't know, for the most part, it just doesn't work. In the bullet arena, I did pretty well on Monday, but I only berserked the first 2 games. I berserked the first 2 games just seeing if my opponents would berserk back. Of course, they did not. And then I just kind of started winning my games. So
it's the worst when they don't berserk back, and I'm guilty of it too. I will stare someone down for the full 15 seconds after they berserk me and just just make them play with half the time. So.
Yeah. I mean, like when you don't do it, it really says something. I'm gonna mute you real quick so they don't get the bike horn. Yeah, prepare for my eardrums to get wrecked. Oh, that was actually not that bad. It didn't screech this time. I really don't know what that is.
I will say it's not bad in my headphones, so I think it is headphone dependent.
It's headphone dependent, but also I think it has to do with how Streamlabs deals with it. C Herrera,
fast swimmer.
C Herrera 96. What's up? Weak fish fast swimmer. How you doing today?
I agree with Lord Poseidon too.
That's true. Very true. I mean, it is very mood dependent. Okay, next topic. We got player contracts. Mike, I know you have been working on this in kind of the background. What do you want to tell us? I think the work that you've been doing here is like really exciting. It could be potentially revolutionary for the league. Just give us the rundown on what you're thinking.
Okay, so I'm afraid to drop too much here because I've only begun the thinking it out process, and I don't want people to immediately dismiss this idea. So I am hesitant to give up too much, but I put together a few-page proposal that I'm about to send to league brass and get their initial take on it for having player contracts in the NBL. This is not monetary at this point. I think maybe it's the groundwork for many years when in the future if this ever does take off monetarily. But it's not monetary, and it's a system that would replace the rating tier requirements that were introduced this season. And I think it does it by adding it adds a more strategic element to team management. In my document, I laid out a few goals that I think are the most important things. That the system will not affect Season 3. Season 3 is late it's set, but this should be considered for Season 4. The system should serve as a replacement for the rating tier approach and accomplish the same goals that the rating tier approach was set out to do. The system should be easy to implement and mostly automated. The system should provoke commentary that is engaging to fans. So we can talk about like people's contracts and the effect of like signing someone to this contract and trading contracts with other teams and creating these interesting opportunities for league team strategy and conversation topics. That leading into the next point, it should add exponentially to team strategy and management, or owners' team strategy and like general manager type stuff. It should be financially sustainable, which probably means there's no money changing hands at this point. And the system shouldn't break down if players exit the contract. Like the players have no obligation based on the contract. The contract is entirely outside of any player obligation.
Right.
So that's where I stand with it. And those are the goals that I'm hoping to solve with these contracts.
Yeah, and just to kind of piggyback off of you, in Season 2 and I guess even this season, there have been a couple of voices of concern over some of the teams adding different players based off of these tiered rating categories. And, full disclosure, these were all agreed upon by all of the team captains. So it's not like someone is, going behind everyone's back. And I think that this player contract system provides an opportunity to be a little bit more, equitable from a team perspective, just as a whole, and gives teams a more balanced approach, like levels the playing field. And I do completely agree with you from a team captain's perspective. I'm super excited to show my strategic muscles when picking up players.
Yeah, so stay tuned. Hopefully we can talk about this a little bit more after we've had some conversation with the league brass and see where they stand on it. But let us know your thoughts on player contracts and ideas, and we can take that into consideration while we're creating this proposal.
Yes, absolutely. And we are on the next topic, but I see we've got a few more people in the chat. I'm just going to give a quick shout out to the National Blitz League. It's the league that we're talking about right now, NBL. You guys can see in the chat that their Twitch page is over there, so give them a follow. Also, if you want to learn more about the league, go to nblchess.com. The teams are currently filled, but the teams are constantly looking for potential replacements. So if you are interested, please join. There's also every Sunday a weekly Rumble that is open to all players. So that's a great way to get on the radar of the team captains if you are potentially interested in competing in the league.
Sick. So our last topic isn't much of a topic as far as just hitting us up with your questions. We would be happy to answer some. We thought that would be a cool segment to end the stream.
Yes, please. Guys, any questions that you have, league drama, league clarifications, anything that you have, this is going to be a quick fire thing. So let us know what you're interested in discussing.
Things you'd like us to talk about, MVP candidates, areas you disagree.
How great the stream format and the stream layout looks right now. I saw people were showing some love for that. Okay, C. Herrera 96. How long has NBL been a thing? This is the first time I've heard of this. So National Blitz League started, this is season 3, right now. It was started originally by players from Chicago: Nathan Kelly, Daniel Jones, Louis Green. They are the masterminds behind this. And the season 1 was a individual arena thing. Season 2 was a team format, although Lichess hadn't released the feature for team arenas yet. I believe Nathan Kelly was instrumental in having them implement that feature, and now season 3, which is going to last 12 weeks, by the way, is it's just kind of the first time we're implementing these actual team arenas. So you sign up for a team and you compete with your team. So it is really exciting. NBLchess.com, again, if you want to learn a little bit more about that. Also, if you want to, get in touch with some of the league organizers, I can put you in touch with them. So feel free to send a whisper. It does look like a TV show. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jay and Gadsden.
Jay and Gadsden 03. Joseph Gadsden, also a member of the NBL, sitting in the top 20 at 18th place. And Joseph, are you on the Detroit Sharks? I believe that you are the captain for that team.
I love the idea of recap or tournament analysis streams. I want to make this technology available to everyone in the league so that we can do some really cool stuff like that. I back in the day when we ran the NCL before, a long time ago, we had ideas of even showing players' faces during the games, and things like that could be pretty sick too. Those that volunteer, at least.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And maybe for that recap, do you think that would be something that occurs right after every arena, or just kind of later? Oh, by the way, I'm gonna mute you real quick. And okay, dope. So yeah, you're unmuted right now. But what do you think that post arena recap would look like?
There's another question, too, about what we think we could improve a part of it. I think the player contracts, while we wait for the response to your question, the player contracts would be huge. I think that would be super exciting. I think definitely more coverage, even adding more people to these type of commentaries. I think Fantasy Chess League, if I could ever get to that, having more organized information, which is a website I'm putting together that'll hopefully give schedules, like TV schedule times for not only the arenas, but things like Pardon the Intermezzo, a clear schedule, stats, and everything. I think that's what at least I hope I can contribute to the league.
Yeah, Mike is the mastermind behind this, the website that was showing the results. Also, this slick graphical interface that you guys see on the stream. He designed all of that. So when I refer to the dev team, I'm referring to him.
By the way, if anyone else is a programmer and interested in getting involved with some open source NBL coding, hit me up.
Yeah, do you want to put your GitHub? I don't know what's the best place to contact you for that.
Yeah, I guess probably Facebook, but I can put a link to the repo. I guess it's private, so I would definitely just reach out to me either here or on Facebook, and I'd be happy to help.
Yeah, Michael Auger is his Facebook username. I posted that in the chat, so feel free to hit him up. He's doing a lot of cool stuff.
Alternatively, I also have a product backlog where I collect ideas of things that we can do to improve NBL and add on. So if you're interested in getting involved with the product side of it and you have cool ideas, I can also spread that link out eventually if people are interested.
Yes. Let's see. Right after each arena, maybe you can get players from key games to talk about their thought process. Yeah, that's a great idea. It's kind of like in the NBA where after the game, people just interview usually the stars or the people that were really putting in a lot of work during the game. So I think that's a great idea. Maybe that is something that we could do. We'll keep that in mind. I'll make sure to make note of that. And then something like that recaps things that happen daily could help casual viewers to get more interested. Yeah, I absolutely think so. And probably this video will be the first one that will be posted to YouTube. So hopefully we can start circulating that, get more people excited about this league. I think, Michael, with chess.com's Pro Chess League that has like all these super GMs and whatnot, do you think that people will get excited for something that is geared more towards the amateur level, like NBL is?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you present anything the right way, it can be really exciting. Um, I guess I have my own views on restricting it to be more of an amateur thing rather than making it professional with the minor leagues or a D3 league or whatever. I like the idea of having a, kind of a consolidated, like a multiple tier based league. So I guess I don't see the future of NBL necessarily being restrictive as far as like keeping professionals, out.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think even if it remains with the current talent level, if presented the right way, it can be really exciting.
Yeah,
So.
absolutely. And, this is the first season that we have Grandmasters in the league. Grandmaster Mark Paragua, Grandmaster Ankit Rajpura, and maybe that's just a sign of things to come. I don't know. I know originally we set the requirement that there would be no Grandmasters, but, personally, I like battling with them. Like, I think that's fun.
I think when you talk about player contracts too, to even out the teams and get everyone involved, it makes it even more interesting.
Yeah, it adds some spice to the broth. I don't think you really got that, but anyways, with that, if there are no other questions, we'll probably end this episode of Pardon the Intermezzo.
Cue future really cool outro song.
Mm-hmm. Intro and outro. Guys, I will also be streaming after this. Probably gonna start in like 10 minutes. So if you guys want to watch me stream, that's fine. But with that, I'm going to end this. Thank you so much for joining. Make sure you guys hit up Michael if you are interested in contributing to the development. Also, NBLchess.com and their Twitch page. Please follow those. Cool. Thanks, guys, and until next time, peace out.